Hello. We are going to listen to Zach a little bit and respond to him, kind of. Well, let's start it out.
If all truth is relative, then what's wrong with me calling you an idiot on YouTube?
Nothing.
What's wrong with me
You can call me an idiot.
taking your children, kidnapping them, raping your mom, murdering your friends or you?
Wait, aren't you a Christian? Why would you want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. And that's horrible. Why would you even suggest doing that? Wow. What's wrong with that? Well, lots of things. It's not societally acceptable. It's not empathetic. It's not morally acceptable by pretty much any culture.
If there are no absolutes, then why don't you just take your bank account numbers, transfer them over to mine, and switch around the numbers a little bit? How about?
Well, that's just dumb. Why in the world would I do that? That makes no sense. Give you my money? It doesn't have anything to do with being absolute or not. It has to do with me living.
That? I guess it doesn't matter. And you see yourself as a good person. Well, why do you obey the law? Is it to save your tail from being put in jail? Or from somebody else doing something to you that you wouldn't like?
Well, empathy and
really? Why
societal
do you do
norms
good?
are part of it.
That stuff you call good anyway. If you're a postmodernist or relativist, whatever you call yourself.
Okay, let's skip to this.
Going by what society says.
Going by what society says.
Well, let's take a look at at society 200 years ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Slavery was okay.
It was. You're right.
You know that?
Yeah, I do.
Slavery was morally acceptable to the majority.
It was.
Does that mean it was okay? No.
No, it
But
doesn't.
see, it's changed. If you're going to put your morals in something that changes, then what you have basically is a straw house of morals or absolutes that are easily blown down by the next gust of wind.
Good point.
What's your foundation? When you go take a class in school...
Okay, I'd go take a class in school. That's, well, I think it's funny that you talk about slavery and societal norms, because when slavery was happening in America, it was condoned by Christians using the Bible. It was shown to be acceptable by Christians using the Bible. In fact, since we're talking about societal norms and talking about what is morally acceptable in society at certain times, let's talk about the changing morality in the Bible. The best example of a societal norm changing in the Bible is the stoning of homosexuals, the stoning of children, the stoning of prostitutes, the stoning of people, the putting to death of people by stoning. Now, this was something that was morally acceptable. Not only morally acceptable, but actually commanded by the priest, the rabbis, the people that were in power at the time. Just like slavery was morally acceptable a few hundred years ago. Stoning of people was morally acceptable in the Old Testament. Now in the New Testament, it was no longer morally acceptable. So, you're sitting here claiming that you have an absolute morality from God. Yet, the place that you're claiming you're getting this absolute morality from has subjective morality in it. So, why don't you understand that your morality is as subjective as anyone else's? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, because we can learn from our past mistakes. We learn from the stoning of people that this is not a good thing. We learn from the Crusades that this is not a good thing. We learn from war. This isn't a good thing. We learn from this and from that. And our empathy becomes better. Our understanding of other people becomes better. And our morality can also become better. I mean, 100 years from now, they're going to be looking back at this time, this generation, and saying, I can't believe that they chastised these homosexuals like this. I can't believe that people like Westboro Baptist Church went around holding up signs saying God hates fags. But right now, you're going to continue to use the Bible to show that people like this are completely morally acceptable. And that's the scary thing that a lot of atheists find. They find that your sense of objective morality is scary. Because you sit here on your pedestal and you can't be moved. Because no matter what argument is brought against you, you say, well, this is absolute. I can't change it. I'm a Christian and this is the way it is. I cannot change this ever. And that's not true. God never changes. People continuously change. God is the standard of morality, yes. But unless you know God 100%, you know every aspect of God, you see through God's eyes. You see every perspective from every point in time. You can't know that morality. You can only attempt to line yourself up with what parts you do know of it. Which I believe is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Empathy. Societal norms only play a part in a global understanding, a more general understanding of morality. You can attach yourself to societal norms if you must, if that's the only way, the only thing that keeps you from, say murdering someone or raping someone. But if you're not that type of person and you want to be good in the first place, then your empathy and your understanding of other people is what will drive your morality to be quote-unquote good. I recently asked one of your friends, someone that you correspond with quite regularly, if he would lie to someone to bring them to Christianity. Now, he said, no, I wouldn't lie to anyone. He's like, I wouldn't need to. And I'm, well, that's not the point. That's not what I'm asking. Not if you would need to, but if you would lie if the circumstance presented itself. And he's like, no, I wouldn't. But then he went on to say that if we were in, Germany at the time of Hitler, and he was coming in to, kill us, and we were hiding, a bunch of us were hiding in an upstairs attic or something, and the Germans knocked on the door, who's in there? Where are they at? He said that he would gladly lie to them and tell them that we were not there and to save our lives. And I told him that I thought it was weird that he would gladly lie to save our mortal lives, our skin, our bones, but he wouldn't lie to save us from an eternity in hell. All I'm saying is that if a person's only chance to go to heaven was that someone had to lie to them, would you consider that morally acceptable or not? That's the only way they could go to heaven, is if someone told them this lie. And it could have nothing to do with anything. It could be the smallest lie. It could be, your hair's blue. But this is the only possible way that they would make it to heaven. Is that morally acceptable or not? And how do you say that that's morally acceptable or not? just my thoughts and a small question.